Welcome all as we congregate to the greatest toy line in community, ever growing, ever changing. As we collect and adapt these figures to our own imaginations and embrace the fun, there's much to learn, especially if you're new to Mythics. Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of New to Mythics. Tonight we have a special episode. We've got a special guest right here. This is Mark Cantrell. If you guys have never met or heard of Mark Cantrell, maybe you've heard of Mista, because a lot of people seem to know who Mista is, and that is you. Welcome, sir.
Welcome. Thank you. Evening, gents.
Thank you. And everybody knows this guy down here.
Oh, of course.
Mr. Bryan Lynn. How are you, Bryan? Good to see you, buddy.
Doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good. So just to be open and transparent, you had reached out to me. You had big plans, and you kind of made a post about what you were working on. And you had kind of mentioned a few things in like the Legion's chat and stuff like that about something you wanted to do, like a project, which is basically to have your own convention. You and I had talked about this like on the show that I did with you about how you kind of wanted to fill that gap that PowerCon had left, and doing your own thing. But what I really love about your idea, your Karvar Kon, is that you want to really focus on the creative part. Like you really want to really gather up like the greatest super friends of creators, you know, and bring them together and just really showcase just what they can do. And I think you're doing that now by inviting this guy right here, who I just recently have realized, but I'm floored. So I'll let you talk on that, Bryan, on your thought process.
The main focus is like when I talked to Jeremy about the con and everything, he's like, "What are you going to do to make people want to come to this con?" And in all honesty, at that point, I was like, "Oh damn." I didn't have anything to say.
I mean, what I'm the eye candy. What do I need to?
Right. It's like I honestly didn't really have anything to say at that point. He's like, "It's okay, you don't have to answer me," but it's just like that's the thing you need to think of. So I was like, okay. So I really want to focus on it being about the creators. You know, the customizers, the printers, the diorama makers, and this, that, and the other. I want to have another experience where all of them come together besides Legion's Con, and we can have a lot of fun. And you know, everybody get together and just bring all their best work, stuff like that. And I also wanted to be able to give people that might not have that chance at Legion's Con to come and be able to also do that. So I've been talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people I've been talking to are also people that either haven't had a chance to be at Legion's Con or didn't even think about the idea of having a table before, and they're kind of blown away that their work has gotten noticed to that point where I'm like, hey, would you want to be interested in this? I've talked to a few people like that.
Yeah.
And then you come to Mark here, who's not on Facebook, who's not in the Cabal, that is known in the Cabal because of his amazing work. He is, in my opinion, the best diorama maker, period.
I'm going to attest to that. I've never seen anything like that.
I appreciate that.
Right. I mean, we got people that going around call themselves kings, but this dude's legit the best diorama maker. I mean, we got plenty of people that'll attest to that too. Yeah. You know, so I mean, this guy's amazing. So and it's funny because like when I had this on mine, it's like I told Stacy, like, how can I talk to Mr. C? I gotta be like, so I know you live in Florida. How can I convince you to come to Ohio?
That's a big thing. Like that's a big ask, you know, to do that. And as for Legion's Con, like Legion's Con is a huge event for us within the community, but also it's not easy to get a table. Like a lot of the tables are spoken for So I think there's a lot of young or new customizers that don't really have the opportunity to be able to showcase. So you being able to have your show and at a reasonable price, cheaper, no
Hmm.
offense against Legion's Con, it's going to be cheaper, the tables, and more available. It gives them the opportunity to be seen and to showcase their stuff. So I think it's a
Right.
great opportunity for sure.
And I saved you that ask, Brian, because I reached out to you first and said, I'm in, man,
Right.
initially. And you were like, well, I was just going to ask you if you
Like,
want to
wait,
do it.
what?
Right. He was like one of the first people I was gonna reach out to, like, and he beat me to it. Like, he was one of the first people, like, I'm in. I'm like, sweet,
That
hell
makes me
yeah.
so happy. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. And I know it's not, I'm sure, I don't talk to you every day, but I'm sure there's been hurdles, but it just seems like things seem to be gelling for you and working for you, so that it's gaining momentum. People are excited for it. You did a t-shirt thing, like, I know it's a ways away. We're about a year out, a little bit longer, but I think when it comes, we're all going to be ready and it's going to be an amazing event.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people I've reached out to, like, hey, I got an idea for the con. And they're like, it's still a year away, man. I was like, oh yeah. But I just want to, plant
Wow.
ideas and
Yes.
toss out ideas to people and,
And
might get their
logistics.
wheels turning, something like that.
Yes.
Maybe there's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing until then. So I have a list of people that are like, I have to wait till I can see what's going on closer to
Right.
time. And it's like, cool. Just like I said,
Right.
ideas at this point. I just want everybody the best experience I can. And I just want all the artists to be able to show as much of their stuff to as many
I love
people as
that.
possible.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's the
love that.
main thing about this con. It's like it's all about the creators.
That's awesome. Well, let's do a little showcase on Mark here. Let's talk to Mark about what did you collect? We talked a little bit before I started
Yeah.
taping. What did you collect as a youngster?
Oh man, I mean, I grew up a child of the '80s, so I was there for the beginning of
The
the golden
best.
age of. We get to be there for the beginning of video games
Right.
and modern action figures.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
that's something I'm very prideful of, but it had nothing to do with it. But no, I mean, everything. It started with Star Wars, of course, when I was really little, and then moved to GI Joe and Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, LJN, Dungeons and Dragons, a little bit of Transformers. I really wasn't super into Transformers.
Mhm.
Um, Superpowers,
Mhm.
the DC and Marvel figures. So pretty much everything when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then I sold my entire action figure collection. It
Mm.
was my
Mm.
freshman year in high school at a friend's parents' garage sale. And his mom advertised in the paper the day before and said there was going to be full collections of Star Wars, GI Joe. Got there Saturday morning to set up. A lady pulled up like 5 minutes before the time, and she bought my entire
Oh
GI
wow.
Joe collection, every figure, every vehicle, the
Wow.
base, everything in one lot. She bought it all for her kids, and
Wow.
by mid afternoon, I was like sold out. Everything was gone. But yeah, I look back on that now, and I was like, man, what do I want to do for that stuff now? But yeah, I
That put
used.
you
Right.
through college though, right, Mark?
Well, I was a freshman in high school, but what I did use it for the next day, I went to Service Merchandise and bought a Joe Weider 110-pound weight set and a bench for my bedroom.
Nice.
Before diorama building, I was a bodybuilder from high school until
Wow.
into my 40s, so that started that off. So I can't say I don't regret it, but yeah, then went away from action figures my 20s and 30s, and I didn't buy them. I always kind of kept up on them. If I
Mm.
ever went to Toys R Us to get something for a niece or nephew, I would look down the action figure lane.
Browse a little bit.
When I got older, Target and Walmart, but I never bought anything, a random figure here and there, like for a video game I played
Right.
maybe. And then it was COVID. It was 2020. Everything was shut down, and the Mandalorian TV show season 1 was on.
Hmm.
And I remember just being bored one day, and I was like, I'm going to order a Mandalorian action figure. And it was before he was even Grogu; it was just a child.
Right.
So
The
I ordered
childs.
the
Yeah.
Mandalorian and child, and they're in the mail. And I'm like, action figures look so cool on the box, like on this like environment. And then you get them home and like set them on your shelf next to the lamp, and they just look like an action figure on your shelf
Right.
next to the lamp.
Not the
So
same.
and I didn't even know the word diorama. I was like, I want like a little like display for them. I'm going to buy something. So I like go on Amazon. I can't find anything. I go on like Etsy and eBay, and I start seeing like dioramas that people are making and selling. And I'm like, man, these are kind of like expensive. So I'm like, I bet I can make one, because I've always been very artistic and creative and artsy. And so I go into YouTube and watch like a making of, diorama video, really basic, with like white styrofoam, not like pink foam. And I watched that and I was like, I can do this. Absolutely. And I bought the stuff and I made one. That was the first one I ever made. I posted it last weekend in my reel, and that started it all right there. It was exactly 5 years ago. That was May of 2020.
Let's see if I can.
So at that point though, I was still not really into, I still wouldn't call myself an action figure collector. I was at that point buying figures just for the dioramas I was building. So I would say like, I want to build, a gladiator diorama. And then I would like go online and order a gladiator figure just to take the pictures of the diorama. And then I would just like put the figure aside. And then I would want to build something else. I would buy like one figure just for the diorama pictures. And that's what kind of got me back into this. Like at the end of 2020, I was buying so many figures for my diorama pictures. I just got into collecting. And then that's about the time I started buying classifieds. And that's when things really took off. So I've got a full collection room in the house. But these are just some of my dead-offs here in the living room.
So these ones that you were showing me earlier, you said you started those in like 2001?
Yeah, like these are like 2001. This one's probably like, I'm sorry, 2021.
Okay.
2021. These are like, 2021.
Yeah.
The Dubon is probably like a 2022, and the Swig one in the middle, and the Mummy. And then the top ones are really old. That Kratos in the middle is like a 2021.
Mm-hmm.
That Django Fett Dojo. So these aren't my best work anymore, but these are just like really sentimental ones to me. And
absolutely.
And they still look good. I mean, they
look great.
So,
yeah, they look great.
So anyway, so that's how I got into. That's how I really got back into action figure collecting. And now, I am a full-blown collector. I mean, I've got hundreds and hundreds of figures. But yeah, as a kid, I always built play sets for my figures. My dad was a builder. And when Return of the Jedi was out and I had all my Jabba's Palace figures, he brought me home a big piece of styrofoam that was like in a packing box underneath like a refrigerator, like the box or fridge comes in, this huge piece of foam. And he brought it home for me. And I made like a Jabba's Palace play set out of it. And I made, when I collected G.I. Joes in the 80s, I made like a Dreadnoks swamp shack out of cardboard. It looked like a rundown, cabin on the outside, on the inside.
Yeah.
It was like computers. And to make it more high tech, I lined the walls with like aluminum foil, because it looked more like modern.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that.
Always been in the miniatures and models, but I've always been drawn to larger scale miniatures. I mean, I like trains and little miniatures, but I've always found like 6-inch scale and 1/4-inch scale miniatures, that scale really fascinating, because it's still small, but it's big small.
It's manageable.
So I was always drawn more to that size scale than really small. Like I think to myself sometimes, man, if I built in D&D mini scale, I could build gigantic things, which I want to build, but it's not the same. And Bryan will tell you, it's not the same as standing next to a kitchen table with like a 3 or 4 foot tall diorama, it's 1/12 scale in front of you, and you're like, this is freaking crazy, man.
That's insane.
So it's just different than mini scale.
Right.
It's just something really cool about it. So anyway, and then I was telling you, I actually wanted to be, my whole family's background is construction for generations. I've been around construction my whole life, but I really love design, and I wanted to be an architectural model builder. I wanted to build like, the miniature, condo with the palm trees, the blue plastic water. And
I always thought those are so cool.
Fascinated by that. My friend's dad was an architect. So I would go to his house and look at his models and be like, this is what I can't believe, like, this is your job. You're building like these models. So I went to UF, University of Florida, and I started in architecture, but I did quickly realize that I'm a builder at heart. I love design, but architecture wasn't quite for me.
Use your hands.
Yeah.
Create.
Even in construction, I'm sitting behind a desk, but it's just, but I am a physical builder as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and in college, in that first year of architecture, I took several model building classes. So I have a pretty strong background in model making and construction. So I think that really helps in my diorama building when I'm planning out structures in my head, because I kind of have a rule of thumb, but I only try to build things that could really be built. Even like the fantasy things I build, they kind of have to make sense to me. Is weird as it is, but
so do you
could definitely. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Brian.
So you could definitely tell in your style, like you could see that aspect of it. It's like doing the hallways that I did. I was like, okay, I know how this should work, but like,
right,
realistically, am I putting things where it should be? But like
right,
when you did the actual like houses and your gateway house, and then the Mythic Tavern,
yeah,
like you could definitely see a lot of architectural influences in those, and it's great, man.
it is.
Absolutely.
It's helped a lot. It really has, just
Yeah.
like subconsciously, But
So I wanted to show this gatehouse real quick. Like this.
oh yeah,
Is this like the crowning achievement of your?
this is the tavern.
Oh, this is the tavern. This is not the gatehouse.
Yeah, so this is the tavern. I built the tavern in, I think, 2022 now. So this is about 3 years old. That's the gatehouse right there on the right.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the same piece, but now that I look at it, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's got that same like plaster and wood
That
frame
style.
second floor and stone
love
first floor. Yeah, they are very similar. But yeah, no, the gatehouse was the most complicated thing I'd ever built, because I wanted that sloped kind of whimsical kind of looking roof and not just a straight roof. And that was tough. And also that all that stonework at the bottom is pitched in on three sides, so it's all angled and beveled. So that's probably the gatehouse is probably the most complex build I've done, but the tavern is the most involved build I've done. The tavern was like a 4 or 5 month build.
Jeez.
And
I mean, it looks like a home. It looks like if you went somewhere or England or something, and it looks real.
That thing was crazy. That's one of those ones that was crazy to stand in front of. And Brian again will tell you this. When you build something big, pictures don't do it justice. It's really true.
Right. And it's always tricky to get good pictures to act like really show that off.
Yep. That's why I did that one reel of the gatehouse where I climbed up on the table with it and put the video on. It's as tall as me, because people think like I was like 3 feet tall. Didn't realize it was like,
insane. Let me see if I can find that. So this is what you were talking about earlier, your clip here that kind of shows. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, this very first one, that's the first one I made right there.
I mean, Mark, those look great.
That was
oh my God.
That was the one that started it all. Yeah, was that and I still have it. I'll never get rid of it. Yeah, I don't have many of these anymore. That Batman one is the only modern day one I've done.
Okay.
I really only do fantasy medieval, and that Batman one I did for myself was a very rare, modern day, and I hated it. I didn't enjoy it.
Right. I started off doing like back alleys and stuff, and I've gotten away from it, and I don't miss it at all. It's not as fun to me.
And like those couple of G.I. Joe ones I did for myself. Yeah, Brian, I just don't.
Wow. That fireplace and the torches.
There's so many guys. There's so many guys that just do alleyways and rooftops so good, and loading docks, and I figure it's awesome. Those guys are like incredible at it, and I I tell people I'm a one-trick pony. I can do some modern day cast and plate concrete, but I prefer, fantasy medievals about it.
Yeah. You have a way too of making it seem alive or used or real. Like I was looking at, look at the rock, the cracks, and the discoloration. That looks like a wall to me. Like that looks like somewhere real.
That's the best compliment you can get as
to achieve
builder.
That is just, because it's like you have to know, like, is this too much? Did I go too far? Is it not enough?
I was just gonna say it's a fine line you have to walk, because you can overdo it, like you're trying to sell it too hard. And I sometimes do that with the cracks I do by hand. All those corner cracks and all those blocks are just carved by hand. And if you really look at them, they're all exactly the same. They're just at different angles. So sometimes I'm like, man, this looks like really repetitive. It looks kind of fakey.
But see, that's your artist eye. That was because that's your creation. But I saw something amazing. Like I didn't tear it apart like
you said. You do have to be careful. You can't underdo it or overdo it.
Right. Sometimes less is more, and then like I've said this before, it's like the hardest thing about making a diorama is being random and making things look natural.
That's exactly
right. It's like the trickiest part.
If you scroll up to the top really quick and go to that stair one I did with the grass around it.
This one right here?
In the upper right, yeah. If you go scroll one picture where you can see it from the side. Yes. Okay, right there. It killed me even putting those few plants in, because I did the static grass and I'm like, this is all I want. I wanted some dirt patches and some grass and be done with it. And I kept saying you got to put a few plants in. And I fought with myself for a week over it. I finally put it in, and I'm really wish I would have taken them back out. Like you said, less is more sometimes. I'm kind of kicking myself. It looks all right, but I'm I really just wanted that one kind of just plain. And I, at the last minute, stuck those few, plants in there.
But no, the way you have it is the you only have a few, so it makes it look like there's some wild, stuff growing here and there.
Overgrowth.
Yeah, it looks great. Oh, that's
definitely
awesome.
Sometimes, less is definitely more sometimes.
Right.
Without doubt.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing I love about your style is how you do your plants and stuff. Honestly, I've always wanted to do plants and things, but I was they look too plasticky and stuff like that. And then I started watching. Actually, you kind of helped me with that. Your one reel you put out how you. Yeah, I started doing that. And I was like, okay, this is so much better. So yeah, because of you, I started actually putting plants and stuff on some of mine.
I saw you do that. Yeah, it makes a colossal difference. It's so funny. It just takes that plasticky sheen off of it.
Right.
I gotta look at this. I gotta watch this video. I gotta see this. Oh, so this is a time lapse.
That was a quick time lapse putting that one together. Yeah, that was a pretty cool base I made. It was 4 or 5 inches thick in some parts, but this one was a beast to ship, because that roof was one solid piece.
Mm-hmm.
It was $175. The box it was two. I think it was $225 just to ship that roof.
Jeez.
Damn.
So my client that bought this paid $750 in shipping. It was insane.
So was that something that you sold, or is that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I really have hardly anything for myself anymore, because I'm out of room. So everything.
I was going to ask you that.
That one, the cubbies, that's my collection room. But anything this, that stair we just looked at, that's already gone. I sold that. I have no room even for a tabletop display. I'm 100%. My collection room is fully tapped out. So it's kind of a bummer. But it is what it is. I told myself a long time ago, you can either quit building or you can build it and sell it. And my passion is the building part. So I'm at least you're still getting to build it, and you're making some side money off a hobby that you love doing. So I tell people my golf analogy. I'm it's if I golfed and I got paid to go play around the golf, and I could use up money to buy my clubs and my balls. I'm
perpetuating.
I love building. I love the building. I don't care about the money I make for it. I don't do it for the money. I love sitting and building on Saturday. I love creating something and sharing it. And the fact that I get paid is ridiculous. and I use that
Right.
money to buy like my action figures.
Right.
So I have this whole hobby that's kind of like free. It pays for my foam. It pays for. I mean, it's not expensive to build. Um,
Have
so
you
yeah,
started doing it like as a actual like hobby business though?
say that
That's
again.
really, have you started looking into using it, doing it as a hobby business yet?
Really, the capacity I'm at right now is perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly what I do now. I build a diorama and just say, hey, this is for sale, and someone says I'll buy it, and they buy it. The
Yeah.
bigger ones, the mythic ones I do, I'll usually talk to someone ahead of time, and they'll agree. Okay, I'll go ahead and like reserve this piece now.
Hmm.
But as far as like a storefront, I don't think I would ever have a
Oh
storefront.
no, no, nothing like that. Like I do like a technically this last year was my first year as a hobby business, like tax wise. I've never
Oh,
actually been like an actual business until that point. And
yeah,
it's like
I kind of started that. I have actually have done a show before back in I think it was 2021 or 2022. I did Florida SuperCon, which is a showdown in Miami. And it was a great experience, but I didn't sell a whole lot because it wasn't an action figure crowd.
Mm.
It was a cosplay crowd, and they loved my booth. Everybody would be like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome! Like, see you later."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't sell a whole lot, but I got a great response. It was a really fun weekend. So I got like a square for that, set everything up, and I did it that one year. But then I just kind of I never really did anything with that again, and I just use PayPal right now. But for your show, I'll probably get my square set back up again and do that
So
or whatever. But
you are going to have some things for sale at Karvar Kon.
absolutely, yeah. I've been talking to Bryan about it. I've been trying to like cultivate a list in my head right now of, I want to have some affordable pieces that anyone can get. But I also want to have some, you know, nicer, larger pieces that, people kind of come to expect from me. And I do plan on having one of my gigantic mythic builds with me. So
Nice.
I hope to have a pretty varied, a wide variety of, like I said, something pretty much anyone can grab, or if someone wants something, middle of the road, fairly big, like my blacksmith size that I did,
Mm.
maybe one or two, really big pieces.
So are you going to fly? Are you going to drive? Like, what is your
I
plan?
am. Well, that's the main reason I hadn't pursued really Legions Con ever yet, was because of just the logistical nightmare.
Right.
I talked to Bryan about this. I know plenty of people do this. I don't know how, but I'm in South Florida, and I'm like, all right, I'm just not interested at this age in renting like a U-Haul and driving to New Jersey or Ohio from
I don't
South
blame you.
Florida. And then when you're all excited on the way there, and then the next day you're like,
The reality.
I got to like drive home 2 days, and I just don't want to do all that. So shipping and flying is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And Bryan agreed. Thank God. Very thankful for you for this, that I'm going to ship all my stuff to his house
Good, good, good.
in the weeks leading up to the show. And then, we'll get it over from his house to the show when I get up there.
Yeah.
And then, set up, and whatever I don't sell, just do the reverse and, ship it home.
Yeah. Now, Bryan, do you have like an idea, like where to showcase Mark's, you know,
Not
his?
yet. I'm still
Okay.
working on the layout. Like I'm actually just messaged the lady at the hotel and like, hey, this is what I want to do for my floor plan. Do you have anything that you've already done? So that way I kind of go off of that as well to kind of get a better idea of how to position stuff. And I'm still waiting to hear back from them on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm I'm wanting to do like if we have people like diorama people, I'm not going to keep them all together. I'm going to kind of have them spaced out a little bit. So
Right.
it might like he'll be on the other side from me, and like I invited a couple other like diorama guys as well. So we'll have them spread out. Same thing with printers. I'll try and keep them kind of sporadic
Right.
around, so that way, it keeps the flow. Like people have to walk around to find everything instead of being
Absolutely.
all
Right.
in one
A
same place.
variety of
The fun of it
things.
too.
Right.
You need it.
And
You're hunting around, and that makes it fun too. Everybody's spread
right.
out. Like,
So it's like an ongoing thing. It's like that's one of the things I'm like wanting to explore more and trying to figure out how I want to. I can't wait to get to the point where I have like an actual piece of paper that I can like start marking stuff down on, and Like I have like the floor plan of it, but it's like really weird because I'm like looking at it, I was like, this can't be to scale because like those doors are super tiny, but it might be. So I was like,
Right.
I need to hopefully they have like a floor plan or something like with like that kind of idea for it, so it makes it a lot
Yeah.
easier.
The
I'm sure
venue
they've done.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure they've done things like this before.
Yeah,
So
they've
I'm
done
sure
different
they've
all
got some
kinds of
other.
events.
And I would also talk to. I think we talked about it already, but I talked to Pete McCarthy. I talked to
Right.
Jeremy Gerard. I mean, they throw some big shows, so I'm sure that
Yep.
they would give advice on the flow of the people and
Hmm.
just how it works, and how to plan it. But I think you're doing a great job, man. I think it's going to be an awesome show.
Hopefully.
It's a big undertaking, man. I give you
But like
credit.
well, like Mark was talking about, it's kind of funny because like he actually messaged me one day with some he was second thinking a bit about it. And I was like, well, I was like, you've done one show, but it wasn't really a show for what you
Right.
need to be doing. I was
Yeah.
like, you haven't done a Legion show yet. I was like, Legion's Con, people will go there with thousands of dollars and leave with like I've literally seen somebody show up with a U-Haul, fill it up, and go home at the end of the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, it's insane.
I was
But
like,
Wow.
people, they do that like it's their once a year kind of
mm-hmm,
splurge, or people
right,
that have the money to be able to drop
right,
3 or 4 or 5, 6, ten
Sure.
thousand dollars on stuff.
yeah,
That can do it. So I think, Mark, you're definitely going to be in the proper realm
hmm,
of
That's what I'm most
collectors.
excited about.
Yes,
And again, I'm not even kidding. This is about the money. I told Brian if I break even, I'll be super happy. I just want to do this because SuperCon was such a good experience, but again, it just was not the right crowd. But it was still any con people can appreciate stuff like this. So, like I said, people would walk up and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool!" And I sold some stuff. I mean, I did all right. I think I almost broke even,
yeah.
but the experience was well worth it because of how fun it was interacting with people, and
Mhm.
a couple of people from Instagram that knew me like came and saw me, and um, people seeing your stuff in person is the best.
hmm,
That's
Right.
why I love when I sell something and the person's like, I got it, it's awesome. And that's the best part. So being at
right,
a Legion show, I'm beyond excited for it, to be able to stand there and have people that this is what they're into, seeing my stuff in person, like right there at the table. So I'm so excited. I keep telling myself I'm not going to start building for the show until January 1st, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold off till then because I just
Well, I
want to do
think,
it like it's a 6 month, like January to the end of June, six
yeah,
months of
pace
building
yourself.
for the show.
Pace yourself.
So
And it could be, maybe you don't bring enough stock so that you've got some stuff at home, and
hmm,
you can ship that stuff to the
yeah,
new fans and new
yeah.
friends that you've met from the show.
So I'm
Um,
really excited.
and I know I'm
that's
definitely putting the cart before the horse, but I think once Brian gets this figured out for the first show, the second show,
yeah,
Yes.
Karvar Kon 2, that's going to be, because it'll be figured out.
Everything has some
People
kinks
will
in the
know
very
what
front.
it is.
yeah. Honestly, like I think I've said this before on here with you, is like this year's going to be the one where we show the hotel that we will bring business to them.
Yes.
At first, the lady at the hotel is really cool because like she actually started researching what I'm talking about, and like my emails went from Tory convention to Cosmic Legions convention. I was like, okay, so she's looking stuff up, she's learning
Right.
stuff. So maybe she's already looked up stuff about Legions Con. She might have a general idea from that, but like that's my goal, is to really show them that we can bring in business for them. And we can maybe do more than one day next time around if it's, depending on
Yes.
how this goes. Or
Agreed.
maybe we could do one day, but at the same time have other rooms with other things going on. It's going to be playing it by ear. And
Mhm.
The
that's,
venue's beautiful. That ballroom or whatever that is, that room
It
is
was. Yeah,
gorgeous
that
with all that
was
natural light.
oh yeah, it's funny because
And
my
look at
son
that.
actually, yeah, my son competed in jujitsu there. So I've
Oh,
been in
okay.
this place before, and I was like, when I was looking for a venue, it totally didn't even dawn on me until like the other place was like, blew me off kind of. So I was like, well, let's check out this place. I doubt it's gonna be, affordable, and it's shockingly was, you know, really affordable. So
yeah.
it's, I don't know,
Yeah.
the hotel's nice. I can't wait for people to see the room.
And I think it's oops, I didn't mean to do that. I think where it's at and the time of year is really going to be ideal. It's far enough away from
Nice,
Legion's
absolutely.
Con so that people can recover financially,
Right.
and be ready
Yeah.
for Mark's creations and all the
Like the
other
halfway point.
goodies that are going to be there. So,
Oh,
so
look
this
at
is
that.
the lobby, right? This
That's
is
really
one of the
nice. I haven't seen
lobbies.
any of these yet.
Oh yeah, and there's like a bunch of little hangout spots all through the hotel as well. Like if you're
This is
like
beautiful.
walking from this point to the room that we're in, there's like 2 or 3 spots where you can just sit down and relax and talk to people.
That's ideal because us in this community, we like to hang out. We like to talk toys. We like to just share in friendship and brotherhood and
Oh
hang
yeah.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in on Thursday. Even I'm gonna come in on Thursday and stay for 3 nights.
Awesome.
Hopefully, go out to dinner with all you guys and stuff, and
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
really have a nice time. I'm really excited about it.
Who's this guy? How'd this clown get in here?
Who's that knucklehead?
Who's that knucklehead? The lighting in here. Is this one of the rooms, Brian, or is this a side room?
This is the room. This is the big room.
So this is the room. I love the lighting, like Mark said.
That natural lighting is just
beautiful.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
It looks so nice.
I need Mark's display right here in the middle. like a giant fountain and a gatehouse and a house and a guard tower and
no pressure. Get started.
Yeah, right.
Get started right now, Mark.
I've got a client that wants a whole medieval village over time. Just buildings and the whole deal.
That's got to make you feel good though. That like you're.
It does.
Established and you have that talent.
It makes me kind of bummed too, because I wish so bad I had the room. Like I have no idea where I'm keeping Beathir.
Yeah.
And now that the Rattler's like I'm getting a FedExing like in a day for the Rattler.
Yeah.
So the Rattler, I've got the Dragonfly hanging. The Rattler's going to hang by the Dragonfly. I've got that covered. But Beathir, I have no idea where I'm even going to keep. I don't even have room for the box.
Yeah, he needs his own room.
I live in a really small house. Every closet is like maximum capacity. Attic is all Christmas decorations, maximum capacity. I have no room anywhere. I'm going to struggle to find room for the Rattler box.
Mm-hmm.
So in Beathir, there's 3 boxes. You saw the post they did with the wooden box? That's 3 boxes. So I'm not kidding.
It's nuts.
I have no idea where that's going.
Like I have a hard time throwing boxes away for
I can't
toys, but those boxes I might have to.
Right.
They're too big.
I mean, I've got the Hiss box, and of course it's in the shipping mailer still. I mean, the Hiss is out and set up, but I can't get rid of that Hiss box, Dragonfly box. These things are like works of art, man. They're beautiful.
I've got the Ghost HasLab. I've got Razor Crest. I've got the Thunder Tank. I've got the Dragonfly and the Rattler, and they're all in boxes. I don't have room. My room is like upstairs. It's like a 10 by 10. Like there's room for the action figure, but not any kind of
like about a 9 by 9. My collection.
You need a studio, Mark.
I know. I'm divorced, happily divorced, and my kitchen dining room table is that's where all my pictures are. You always see with the mirror. That's just my permanent. But it's funny if I want, if we want to do something nice, I throw a table pad on and a tablecloth, and can't tell there's paint and knife marks all over the table, so I don't care.
Right.
So no,
I wanted to ask you, and you kind of answered it earlier. I was talking to Eric Miller yesterday, and he's kind of a prominent painter. He does work for the studio. Really super, super nice guy. But we were kind of talking about his creations. And people approach him, like he'll bring, like he's got these Ninja Turtles that he made out of orcs, and he brings them to the shows, and people are like, I'll give you this much. I'll give you this much. And he's like, no, they're not for sale. These are mine, And so he has a hard time, I think, selling stuff that he creates. And it's not because he's, it's not like, this is mine or it's one of a kind or anything. But I think when you're an artist and you make it, it comes from you. It comes from your soul. It comes from this place of creativity. It's hard to give it away. But also it's like you were saying, you're the most critical of the thing that you created,
Yeah.
but it's a piece of you and it's a part of the time that you built it. You know, it's like you look behind you at your shelves, like those are times in your life, you know, like you can't put
it's crazy
a
when that video, the video that you played, the one I posted last week with all my dioramas, each one I see takes me to that year, and that I remember what was going on in my life at that time and what music I was listening to, and I belted like weird stuff like that. But you're exactly right. So
is it hard to sell your stuff is what I was going to ask. I know you kind of have to because of room.
That's the thing. The fact that I'm forced, it makes it easier. You know, I wish so bad. I'm like, man, why can't I have like a basement or just some huge second Florida room, you know, that I could just have. I mean, I can never even keep one. Like I almost didn't sell the gatehouse. I told my client after he agreed to buy it, I started building it, and I was like, I can't get rid of this. I will never build something better than this, I don't think.
Right.
And I told him, I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to keep it.
Sorry, I can't sell this.
But then I got it done. I'm like, dude, you have no room for this. Like you told yourself you weren't going to do this. You can't start getting stupid now about stuff like this. Right. You got to build it. So it was hard at first, but it's also cool that other people have things that I made. Like, I'm like, I'm just some dude that sits at his like kitchen table and builds dioramas, and I've got stuff all over the country. And I'm not bragging. I'm just, it's weird.
No,
there's people in like almost every state that have one of my dioramas. And I'm like, that's cool that like some dude has one of my pieces on his shelf, like displaying his figures. That's wild to me. So when I think of it that way, I get excited about letting them go.
It's definitely a very humbling feeling to have that, you know, like that, just knowing that you have pieces of work all around and it's something that you did and people are, you know, that take pride in having it.
I mean, I've got dozens of your torches in my dioramas that are in all those people's houses. So, and all the stuff you sell. So yeah, it's very humbling. And I think both of us are like this. I think I sell for less than what people maybe would expect. And again, I kind of feel weird. I feel strange selling my stuff for what other people say I should, because I go back to that, and I shouldn't, but I go back to that. I'm just some dude. I'm like just some divorced nerd that sits at my table, and I'm building this like while I'm watching college football on Saturday, and I'm like drinking a beer, and I'm like, I know, like people call me an artist, and it took me a long time to even accept that, because I'm like, I'm not an artist. I'm just a dude that does this. But I accept that now. But I feel funny charging what some people say I should charge. So sometimes when I tell people what a piece is, they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. But then, you know, shipping's horrendous. So I also try to keep my stuff cheaper because of that.
Yeah.
I can't sell something like $700 shipping. I'm like, I can't kill this guy. So, but I think that I sell for a little less than what the market would expect, and I have no problem with that. Like I said, I'd rather get something into someone's hands and quickly. I don't want to have something sitting here for months because I think it should sell for X amount of dollars. I want someone to have it. So I'm like, you know what? You can't. Brian will tell you this. You can't work it into hourly and see what the rate is, because you're making like $5 an hour. I mean, that's just how it is.
Right. You don't want to quantify it into like an hourly. Does it equal out? No, it doesn't, because it's you know, it takes
even like that. Even like that stair we were just showing with the grass. I mean, that was an easy build, but it was 2 full weekends, like a full Saturday and Sunday for 4 full days. I probably have 30 hours in that thing, and I sold it for pretty cheap. I mean, I sold it for like $150.
Wow.
And it was pretty big. It was like 18 by 19. It wasn't a dead off size. It wouldn't fit in the dead off.
Amazing.
But again, if you figure out the hourly, you know, I don't even know what it was. But again, I don't look at it that way. I'm like, I had fun those 4 days sitting and building it. I had a really good time. Taking pictures at the different stages and posting them. That's all like part of my whole thing, is not for likes and for look at me, but just you like seeing the feedback and people. Oh my gosh, that's so cool, and it made me want to build something. And I don't do them anymore really, but I used to make these really detailed build albums and post them on Imager. For like the first 3 years that I built, every single diorama, actually almost all these are on there. Every diorama I built, I would do one step, take a picture, make one cut, take a picture. I documented
Wow.
the entire process. And when it was done, I would spend like days making these like super detailed slideshow albums with captions of not this is how you have to do it. This is the best way. Just, hey, this is how I built this thing if you want to see. And I started doing them and people were like, holy crap, this is awesome. Like, I'm going to try to build one of these. And I was like, that's really not why I'm doing it, but all right, that's awesome. And then more and more people would be like, when are you posting your build album? And they got like, I kind of got known that when I would post a new diorama, I also posted a build album on Imager. And I stopped doing them because they just were a lot of time.
A lot of time. Or are you self-taught, Mark? I mean, did you go to anyone and ask questions, or did you kind of trial and error?
When I got back into what I call this new era, like 2020, when I started action figure diorama building, I watched a ton of YouTube videos, a lot of no-name people, like not famous, like not famous, but like, not big name people.
Right.
Guys like, hey, like I said, I started with a block of like white chunky styrofoam, not pink foam like we all use now. And watched a ton of videos, and Al Figures, who still builds. I would watch his videos on how to do brickwork and stuff, and Euler's Workshop. I'd watch his videos back then. So, but yeah, I guess self-taught, but watching videos and trial and error, and my background and the fact that I always took drawing and pottery classes and sculpting classes and drafting classes. And I've just always been creative and kind of artistic. So that's why the first time I went to build that Mandalorian diorama, I was like, I can absolutely do this. It's cutting out a piece of foam, and I understand the dry brushing. That's not complicated. And I did that first one, and I was like, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even done with that first one. And I was already like, I've got like 2 more action figures, because I had this Nathan Drake's. I'm a huge gamer, right?
Yes, I love Uncharted. I saw that, and I'm like, oh, I love that.
So when I say like my 20s and 30s and 40s, I didn't collect figures, but like I would buy the one-off figure. Like I bought the Nathan Drake, and I bought that Kratos up there. And again, it wasn't because I was a collector. It was because they were figures from the game I liked, and I had them sitting like next to my PlayStation.
Right.
So I wasn't even done with that Mandalorian diorama, and I was like, I want to build another one. I'm going to build a Kratos diorama. And I built a Kratos diorama. Then I was like, I'm going to build a Nathan Drake diorama. And by the third one, I was like, all right, I got to start buying some figures now, because back then the way I looked at it was like I had to have the figure with the diorama, like a little story almost. And now I just build generic dioramas for any figures. But when I first started, I kind of treated it a little differently. Like I would pose the figures and like leave them in that pose. It was like, once I set it up, it was like frozen that way. And it was like almost like a piece of artwork I was making. It was done, and that was it. I wouldn't touch it. I'm different now, but when I started, that's kind of how I treated each build, was like a self-contained project. And when it was done, it was done.
It's almost like a play set, like from when we were kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you create the dioramas now for yourself? Like, this is what I would like, or do you try to tailor it to what you think people might like? Or
what I pretty much do, I'm super lucky in my current state of how I do things. I don't take commissions, but I kind of do, but I don't. I don't take commissions in the sense of someone will say, can you build me a tower with a blue roof and I want it this size and like this? No, that's I can only build something. I have to be interested in what I'm building, or it's going to be half-assed, and I will not build half-assed. If someone says, I'll pay you $500 to build me an alleyway diorama, I'll be like, listen, no, because I'm not going to enjoy it. Right. I'm so excited that when I wake up Saturday's my main build day. I'll build Saturdays. This is not exaggerating, from 9 a.m. until midnight, with like a break to eat. And like my daughter's 17, she's off now, like doing her own thing all the time. So I love sitting down to build, but if it's something that I don't want to build, I'm not going to want to sit down to build it.
Right.
And I have to be excited and want to be like, I can't wait to this Saturday to sit down to work on this next part of like the gatehouse. But I can't be like, I got to build like an alleyway this weekend. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
That's when this becomes a job and not a hobby.
Well, I think you would notice the difference. And this is something else I was talking to Eric about. Like if you had, if somebody said, okay, make me a Cobra Command Center, like if you're not excited about it, you might make it and it might look great to them, but you would know the difference because you didn't have that excitement and that enthusiasm. Like you would know the difference. You'd be like, I phoned it in. Like I half-assed it because it didn't like excite me, and that's artist integrity. That's artist integrity.
Yeah.
Totally.
I just build what I want and that's it. Like that stair, I just wanted to build it. So I built it. And even my bigger stuff, like the blacksmith and stuff, but with the really big mythic builds, like I said a little earlier, I don't just kind of build those without a builder already that wants it. Because if I don't sell one of those, there's no way I can hang on to one of those. They're literally my entire table.
Right.
So with each of those, like with the courtyard and the gatehouse, I talked to one of my clients that has been buying a lot of my bigger stuff. And I said to him, the gatehouse, I didn't design it all. First of all, I take no credit for that. That's a guy on YouTube, Mistral Fantasy World. I posted his stuff in my post when I posted the gatehouse. The gatehouse was a straight copy. He's a D&D mini scale builder. And he built the gatehouse originally and posted a YouTube video. I saw it and was like, it was the week between Christmas and New Year's this last year. And I was like, I have to build this. And I'm starting like right now. And like, I literally like sat down like immediately and started like, okay, how am I going to do this? So I right away reached out to my one client and I said, listen, I didn't even ask him. I said, I'm building this right now. I'm starting right now. If you're interested, great. If not, I just wanted to give you first dibs. And he's like, I'll claim it right now. So I had at least the comfort of knowing, okay, this is going to get paid for this. He's going to take it. I'm not going to be stuck with it because I understand not everybody has the space to put one of these table size builds. I mean, they're 5 foot by 3 foot, like a typical mythic build of mine.
Was the size of something like that, was that intimidating to you? Like,
no, because
where do I start? Like, how do I, or maybe it's your architecture brain.
Yeah, one thing is that like I did these 3 dead off cases back before I was selling my stuff. When I was able to, before I hit capacity, I never had plans of selling my work ever. No, people would ask me, I would say, I don't sell. It's just for me. It's a hobby. But these dead offs started to fill up, and I started to say, all right, when these fill up, what am I going to do? So I realized then that I even though I knew I had to build dead off size dioramas, they were always like 1 inch too small for me. I would always be like, I want to make this stair like 1 inch wider, stuck in this cube. So, or I want to make this wall like just 1 course taller. It would look so much better, but I can't because I'm like stuck in this dead off cube. So it's funny. I've been complaining. I always have wanted to go bigger since day one. When dead off seemed huge to me when I started, and then that got to be like, this is too small. This is ridiculous. Then I started going a little bit bigger, and I'd be like, if I could just go 2 inches bigger, if I could just go 3 inches bigger. So I've always been wanting to I'm always needing like an extra few inches to make it better in my mind. So the Great Hall was one of the first really big dioramas I did. It wasn't full table, but it was almost. And it was not intimidating. I loved it. I was like, man, I've got room to breathe. I felt like I can like make this stair huge and I can make it as tall as I want. So I really embrace it. I enjoy the freedom of having that size. Because the other thing, I say this to a lot of people, they don't realize till they get one of my pieces is that, and this is my building and architecture background. And I'm laughing when I say this, but I'm a snob when it comes to, I have to build stuff in real world scale.
Okay.
And I'm not making any digs at Marvel builders, because you obviously, when you build a rooftop diorama, it can't be the size of a real high-rise rooftop. It wouldn't fit in your bedroom. So I know they make rooftop dioramas, like tiny ones. I can't do that. I have to build something the scale it would be in real life. And people don't realize, like, a 7-Eleven you think is tiny, but like when you walk up to it and you're measuring it, it's freaking big.
Yeah.
So when I built my blacksmith, people think, well, just build me some little medieval building. I'm like, you don't understand. When you start laying out doors and windows and stuff, that little medieval like blacksmith shop is going to be a big ass diorama, because I'm not going to build something that's not the right scale as it is in real life.
So you never really messed around with other scales. So somebody said, well, just do like 3 3/4. You're like, no.
The only one I ever did, it flashed up really quick in my slideshow, was that Indiana Jones map room.
Yeah.
Diorama I did. That was for a 3 3/4 figure. But that was for a special project for a friend. And that's the only 1/18 scale diorama I've made. But like even this tavern, the diorama is huge, but when you take the lid off and like look inside, to me it was small. It felt cramped. I'm like, if this was a real tavern, it'd be super cramped in there. That even felt small to me.
I love the figures. The figures in it or next to it or by it, it gives it scale. So that you see this is.
So it could be considered a strength or a fault that, I'm really strict about wanting to make things the real life scale that they would be for a 6-inch action figure. So I'll sometimes say, I'm not going to build it. If I can't do it in the right size, I'm just not going to build it.
These are just incredible. Like everything I look at is unbelievable.
But, and it's funny too, it just happens the size table I have here dictated how big I make my Mythic builds. If my kitchen table was 6 feet by 4 feet, guess what? These builds would be 6 feet by 4 feet. But they're 5 by 3 because that's how big, or close to that size, because that's what my table is. So if I had a bigger table, it'd be bigger.
That's only as big as you're getting. You're not going any.
Yeah, I can't put them on. I can't move to the floor.
It's unbelievable. Just the detail and the size and scales, unbelievable.
But in the Cobra and the GI Joe displays, those are the only two other modern day displays I've done for myself, because that is for my personal collection.
Yeah. Jeez.
But
amazing.
Yeah. So one guy, the castle you just showed with the courtyard.
Yeah.
In the tower right there, the same guy owns both of those pieces.
I was going to ask that. This guy must have some.
One guy owns the tower and the castle that had that gravel courtyard, and he happens to live. I live in South Florida. He lives on the west coast of Florida. He drove over here to me to pick both those up to avoid the insane ship. Well, one of them, the first one, the castle, the tower. The tower, he was going to be over here anyway because they had a meeting. So we met up, and we met in some parking lot and under a tree. And he pulled, and I had it assembled because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to give this to him in boxes. I have to see his reaction to this diorama. So I got there early, and I set the tower up in the back of my truck.
Oh wow!
So he pulled up, and I was like, please don't rain. It was cloudy out. I was worried it would rain. And he pulled up, and it was already assembled in the back of my truck. When he bought the castle, he drove to my house, and it was in my living room assembled, so you got to see it. So he owns both of those. And then a different client owns the gatehouse and the courtyard.
Okay.
And then my client that owns the tavern, he also owns the Great Hall.
So will they come to you periodically and be like, okay, Mark, I need something else. I need a new. So do you have repeat customers?
Sometimes, yes. Like this client of mine that owns a tavern here. He's a really good client of mine. He's a friend of mine. And he'll contact me. He contacted me a couple of months ago and said, hey, can you make me a 24 by 24 inch, just flat board, not board, but just a flat piece with landscape terrain, bushes and plants. And he's like, I've got a bunch of fake trees and I want to do forest dioramas with different setups. So I made him a big It was about a 30-inch by 24-inch piece. I didn't post it on here, but it's some areas were flat with just grass. Some areas were more foliage heavy, and he used it for his photography and stuff. So repeat clients, if they reach out to me, usually to ask for something special like that, I'll do it for them.
But they probably give you enough wiggle room to interpret it how you want.
Yeah, he just said, you do whatever you want. He said, I want
to. That's the right term.
So I did different areas. I'm I don't want it all foliage heavy, because I'm what if he wants to set up a campsite with a tent and a fireplace? If I've got plants everywhere, he can't do that. So I left one spot with a clearing with just grass. Mm-hmm. And when you look at when you stand back and look at the whole thing, it looked kind of funny, but he uses it for close-ups of different setups. So it was made more for a photographer in mind than trying to show off a real, because it didn't look realistic, because it was different zones of, heavy foliage, light foliage, no foliage, so he could do his different setups. So, but for him, he loved it. It works great for him. And he's already posted a bunch of stuff, using it. So it's cool seeing that.
I think that you're going to have a whole new bevy of new fans. Oh, yeah. I know me and Bryan I think we were on Legion's chat, or we were in some kind of chat or something. And you had kind of hinted at somebody coming.
Yeah. It was during the customizing studio the other day.
They're
with Rick.
And you're you have to find out. But this guy knew who you were and threw it out. I was whoa, he just pulled it out of the sky and knew who you were.
Well, he's actually talked to me about him before, too. He asked me if I've ever heard of him. I was yeah, actually, he's ordered torches and stuff from me to use on these big builds and stuff like that. That's something else I was telling Mark about. I was you're not in a cabal, but it's funny, your stuff finds its way into there. People will share your posts on Instagram and they're oh, have you guys seen this and this, that, and the other? And everybody's oh, yeah, it's Mr. C. He's a really cool dude. Yeah, he does this, that, and the other. And he's all this amazing work. So people know of you. They just don't know you. And that's another one of the main goals. That's the reason why I reached out to Schmerbs about doing this show, so people get to know you better. And having you at a Legion show is going to be icing on the cake, man. And I'm just happy.
It's excited. I really am. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. I'm locked in, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And I appreciate this one being your first one. To be honest with you, it was. I really appreciate.
I want to get it on the ground floor. Listen. I was saying before, someone has to die at Legion's Con to get a table.
That's kind of true. Yeah, that's kind of true.
That's why I never push it either. I mean, all due respect, but I'm not going to go through the insane logistical nightmare of getting from Florida to New Jersey to share a 1 foot by 1 foot corner of Brian's offered before. I'll give you a little piece of my table. That's super awesome, but I need a whole booth, or I just wouldn't do it.
It's not worth the trip. It's not worth the drive out to do
that. Even to go, and I don't want to go as a fan, because I would go crazy going to Legion's Con knowing I'm not there as a vendor. As ridiculous as that is,
not at all.
I would go just as a fan.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for Karvar Kon to get in on the ground floor, get grandfathered into a booth, maybe a little extra big one.
Absolutely. So I'm just assuming there is some tables still available.
There are.
Contact Bryan at Karvar Customs or send him a direct message.
We're about half full, so if you're a creator of any kind and would like to showcase your stuff,
I got a table and I don't know what I'm going to put there, but I have a table. I don't care. I'm going to have a sandwich spread. That's what I'm going to have. But I'm super excited, and I'm proud of you, Bryan. I've said it already.
Thanks,
I'm really excited about this. I'm glad that Mark has jumped on and is excited and enthusiastic about it, because I really think that this is going to be something that the people are going to embrace you, and you're really going to feel like you're in your element.
I told Bryan this will be my yearly show. This will be my yearly event.
Yeah,
it's awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Well, I thank you, gentlemen, so much for your time. That was a quick hour. I love seeing your stuff. Maybe we can have you on again.
Absolutely.
As we get closer, we can have another little quick show. Maybe we'll have some more developments and things.
I'd love to.
And talk again about it and show some more cool stuff.
All right. Yeah, I'll do from the collection room next time.
There you go. Yeah, show off some. We need some more eye candy besides Bryan.
All right. Yeah.
I can only do so much, you guys.
I know. We don't want to ask too much. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone for watching. And we'll catch you guys soon. Take care.
All right.
Remember, friends, to always have fun, be curious, share, and enjoy what this line has to offer. Come for the toys, but stay for the friends. Good night, and thank you very much.